a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
The Macomb Police Department dealt with some interesting encounters over the weekend. We've got details ahead. Plus,
I'd like to formally announce that seat, we'll be looking for folks to fill that seat.
Macomb City Council is on the search again to fill an alderman's position. Find out who left and why coming up.
And after another weekend working at the McDonough County Family Shelter, how close is the home to being completed for the first family to move in? That's coming up.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Megan Sanchez.
And I'm Emily Manley. The Illinois budget crisis is continuing to affect higher education across the state. WIU
is no exception to that. I sat down with Budget Director Matt Bierman, who says what happened in Springfield over the summer bought the university some time.
I think there's lots of reasons to be hopeful because we are seeing growth.
The spring semester at Western Illinois University was a tough one, filled with layoffs.
We had to go through some very difficult decision-making processes in the spring.
Because the state could not pass a budget, the university was forced to fill the gaps, fronting funds for MAP grants that should have come from the state, and getting approval to dip into restricted funds just in case.
The board, the latter part of April, did authorize us to do that should we have to in order to make payroll and to keep the doors open. But we have not used auxiliary funds. We've not used bond funds to this point.
Just before July 1st, a 6-month stopgap budget was passed in Springfield.
That gave us $31 million in an appropriation plus some MAP money.
But not enough MAP money.
We are taking care of MAP for the fall semester.
Despite a sigh of relief the 6-month stopgap brought the university, Bierman says the problems in Springfield still need a solution.
It can't just be a simple, we're going to do this and it's going to solve it, because that's not. There has to be lots of moving parts to the solution, including the pension reform conversation, tax increases, and cuts.
Waiting on Springfield to solve the problems that have been building for decades. Bierman said the university has received an authorization to get a refund for the MAP grants that they funded last spring. He expects that to come through in the next 60 days. A car dealership test drive goes terribly wrong. Woodrum's car dealership had a bit of a rough day on Friday. A customer took a car for a test drive when a disaster struck. The car and 3 others were involved in a double rear-end accident. The crash happened on West Jackson in front of Hy-Vee Gas. Macomb police say the Woodrum's customer was driving 10 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. The car behind them realized their speed and slowed down, but the third car did not see how slow they were going. They rear-ended the middle car and pushed it into the first car. A Woodrum's employee was riding in the front seat of the car when it was rear-ended, but no injuries were reported. One woman makes a noteworthy visit to the Macomb Police Department. May Jo Skiffer came into the police department lobby at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. Macomb police said she just hung out and sat in the chairs, but there was one problem with her visit. She was topless. An officer ticketed Skiffer for public indecency. Police say Skiffer is from Macomb and attends Spoon River Community College. Skiffer was not arrested. And that friskiness didn't stop there. Police tell us a man and woman proceeded to have sexual intercourse on someone's front lawn on MacArthur Street over the weekend. Police say they were able to find them because they left their phones and wallets on the lawn. Officers ticketed WIU students Jesus Vasquez and Gabrielle Martinez for public indecency. In more local news, the city of Macomb's alderman seat for the 2nd Ward is vacant as of August 15th. 4 people have applied for the position after Steve Whalen resigned from the council after 2 years. Mayor Mike Inman says Whalen resigned to continue his education as a graduate student.
Taking his email that he sent to us on August 15th indicating that he had vacated his seat from the city council due to a change in his residency and taking some graduate coursework at Western's Quad Cities campus. So
Whalen covered the 2nd Ward, which includes Western Illinois University. The city is now accepting applications for residents living in the 2nd Ward until September 23rd. The council plans on filling the spot by the beginning of October.
And the McDonough District Hospital is working to raise enough funds to break ground in July on their new Women's Center. Over the weekend, the hospital held its 18th annual golf tournament at Golden Hills Golf Course. Members of the community played in teams to raise money for the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center. The $5.5 million project will feature more privacy for new mothers, something the Hospital Foundation is very passionate about providing.
There are times that we have to double up and they have to share a room with someone, and you know, women today do not expect that. They expect to have a private suite, and so our new rooms will be fully equipped.
This weekend's golf tournament raised nearly $51,000. How fantastic.
This weekend to work toward their goal of making a homeless shelter right here in McDonough County. Cora English reports.
So Genesis Garden is a nonprofit organization dedicated to eliminating poverty through a proactive, preventive, and compassionate approach. And what we're doing is fixing this up, and this will house 2 families of 4 to 6 individuals for a stay of 90 to 120 days as we help them figure out what their next step is. We've completely gutted the inside, which means taking everything down to the studs. On Saturday, we had about 35 volunteers, helped us finish up a lot of the outside removals. And we took out some back double doors that had become unsafe and were broken glass. And then also the little porch area that they had been sitting on was falling off the house, so we removed that. A lot of organizations will get a house donated, and then it might be 4 or 5 years before they're up and running because they have to do a capital campaign. But the amazing thing is this community opened up and said, hey, we really need this. 2 anonymous donors have paid for about 3/4 of all the work here. Pella and an organization called the Kuiper Foundation just gave $5,000 and then worked with us on the price to buy 21 windows and 3 exterior doors. So all the windows and doors have now been paid for. And people give, and it's been amazing. We've had about 120 donors that have given to this project. We do this because there's a need. Homelessness is a disaster. Homelessness is more than just not having a place to stay. There's a whole host of things. That problem needs to be treated, and the first step is getting people housed.
Weitzel says he hopes to finish the outside of the building by October. Their next volunteer cleanup day will be on Thursday.
Coming up, flying high in the sky, we talk to a different kind of pilot in Macomb.
And windy skies were a blessing for one festival this weekend. But before we get there, we have a look at sports from Matthew Hutchinson. What's up, Matthew?
Hi, Megan. A lot of big games over the weekend locally. We are your source for highlights, including the Leatherneck football home opener against Northern Arizona and a top 25 showdown. Later, JT Grider filling in.
Hi Matthew, taking a look over at our Macomb Skycam, we see that mix of some sun and clouds have streamed into the area. I'll let you know how long those stick around and when they can see some more sun coming up.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 is back in a moment.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
All my favorite thing about NEWS3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. NEWS3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to do a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders. I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And shelter pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
The 30th annual balloon rally brought hot air balloons teams to Macomb from all over Illinois. This balloon rally is the oldest one in the state, and it continues to bring a big crowd every year.
Saturday night, Vince Grady Field was filled with kids, music, and big balloons. These balloons have been flying in Macomb for 30 years, and year after year, the same pilots return.
It's been 30 years for Macomb. It's the longest running event in Illinois. A lot of the events started immediately after ours. And so there's a lot of events around Illinois that we do that are 26, 27 years. But Macomb's been 30 solid years.
Al Roosh says he got into balloon flying when he started to sponsor the pilots at the Macomb Balloon Rally.
You know, as soon as my kids grow up and get gone, I'm going to get me one of these balloons. And he says, do it now while the kids are young. And so we did. Within the next 6 months, had my pilot's license.
The Roosh family isn't the only family who has been flying for years. Ryan Carlton learned to love balloons from his dad, and now he teaches students how to fly.
As ballooning became part of our normal life, that balloon became a member of the family as much as anything else.
Weather affects how a pilot flies a balloon. If there is too much wind, the balloon isn't able to fly.
The direction of a balloon flight has to be figured out before you ever leave the ground. We are completely at the mercy of the winds for most of our direction and all of our propulsion.
This weekend was too windy for any of the balloons to take flight, but the families were still able to enjoy the annual balloon glow.
Fly on a hot air balloon? Yeah. And do you think it'd be scary? No. Is it on your bucket list? Yes. Which one's your favorite? The Elvis. The Elvis one? What do you like about the balloons?
We can go because there are very many colors.
Would you ever fly in a hot air balloon?
No.
Why not?
Because
the 30th annual balloon rally left families, kids, and the pilots happy. Ryan Carlton explained to me that showing off your balloon is like showing off an antique car.
It's a terrible form of transportation, but it's a lot of fun.
Now, I had to ask how much a hot air balloon cost, and the pilots told me between $40,000 and $45,000, depending on the materials you buy. Megan, absolutely fantastic. I wanted one, but that's not in the budget anytime
Definitely
soon.
not. Definitely
It's
not.
not.
Well, balloons weren't the only thing flying high in the sky on Saturday, Emily.
That's right. It was a windy day, which was perfect for kite flying. NEWS3's Brianna Descaray has more.
You don't see a whale or an octopus in the sky, but this weekend both were flying high as families gathered at Veterans Park for the second annual Macomb Kite Festival. I talked to a young girl who flew a kite despite the wind making it difficult.
which kite's your favorite one? This one. The octopus. Yes.
Yeah. The wind was strong, but that didn't stop Delia from flying the octopus kite. This is the Kite Festival's second year. It is held in support and honor of veterans and military families. Jessica LaFountain brought her children and nieces to the festival.
It's a great activity for kids and families. It's nice to have something to do for families and not having to travel far away in a town like this.
Kids were able to make their own kites to fly and enjoy free hot dogs and lemon shake-ups. They even jammed to the music while they flew the kites they made. Delia said she had fun flying the kites, but it wasn't her favorite part. Her favorite was
watching kites.
Yeah, it looks like you're flying in one too. You have fun?
Yeah.
Delia got to watch professional kite flyers zip their kites through the sky. The wind made it a little difficult, but once they were up, you could hear them fly. Delia said she is excited to come back for the Kite Festival again next year. Friday's events were cut short this year because of rain, but attendance was up on Saturday.
Sounds like a lot of fun, thanks, Bree. The WIU College of Fine Arts and Communication is challenging the Macomb and campus community to help raise money. Saturday, October 15th, COFAC will sponsor a Rocky Quest. The quest is to raise money for the WIU Rocky on Parade Scholarship Fund. Community members are encouraged to post pictures with all of the unique Rocky statues around Macomb. Photos can be uploaded to social media with the hashtag RockyQuest for a chance to win prizes.
And after a great weekend of weather, are the sun and the temps in the 70s going to stay?
JT Greider has the Storm Team 3's 5-day forecast ahead.
Live from Sept.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
You're late. You have to be on the air in 5 minutes. We've got a lot of new music coming in. Make sure you play it. And don't forget about the sports show tonight, too.
Oh my God, we listen to you all the time. You're the only station in the area that's completely commercial-free. It's so awesome. How you're the best in Macomb with alternative and urban music. Can we get your autograph?
88.3 The Dog. Rocky approved.
I'd have to say it's just the fact that you can get involved right away. You walk in the door and you can learn all the equipment, and I've been able to anchor, I've been able to be a DJ on our student-run radio station here. I've been able to work any of the camera equipment and the audio equipment. The fact that you can get involved right away. Everybody's really friendly, they welcome you right when you walk in the door, and you report the news, but you can also have fun stories and hard news stories and conflicting stories, but yet you just get such a real-life experience here at News 3.
Welcome back. Taking a look at our current temperature here in Macomb. We are stuck at 79 degrees with that humidity at 65%, which is kind of making it a little oppressive outside. Going into our regional look, we have right around 80 degrees for pretty much every place around here. As that cold front is starting to approach from the northwest, it will start sliding through tonight, and that will really start bringing our temperatures down into the evenings. If I can get my computer to go. But that cold front is, here it is, stationary off to our northwest, right on the border between Iowa and Illinois. And that will continue to swing through tonight, bringing us some more rain into the area, as we've already started to see on our radar that we do have that rain starting to appear. That rain is pushing right along that cold front. It's going to continue to slide our way, bringing that risk of showers and thunderstorms into the area. There we go. Tonight, here in Macomb, we have thunderstorms with, that says a high of 80. That is wrong. I'm sorry. But we have winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tomorrow, that also is wrong. Sorry. Thunderstorms, again, as that cold front's continue to moving through our area, with the winds are going to stay calm, so that should let our temperatures rise a little bit. For our 5-day outlook, we have thunderstorms tomorrow, sun Thursday, with highs right around 70, kind of climbing up towards 80, but we should stick in the 70s for the rest of the week. We have another chance of rain coming back in on Friday, but looks like sunny skies and a little bit of clouds for the weekend.
As long as it's kind of like it was this past weekend.
Yeah, it was a good taste of fall, but not like so cold that I was miserable.
Correct. I got a sweatshirt on Saturday night.
Love
It was fantastic.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
JT. Matthew Hutchinson joins us now with what's next in sports.
Yes, Emily, it was a very busy weekend for Western athletics, while both Western Illinois soccer teams took games down to the wire over the weekend. And Leatherneck football has started its ascension in the polls, highlights of the anticipated home opener, and much more straight ahead on Live at 4.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
I think what I love most about NEWS3 is that we're really provided with a real-world experience. We're able to get hands-on work in news, and it's very similar to what you would find in a real newsroom, but everyone around here is really good about pushing you to be your best. NEWS3 has really taught me to believe in myself and that if you work hard, you can achieve anything you want. News can sometimes be really tricky, and you have a lot of roadblocks. All of us hold each other to really high standards, and I think that really shows in our newscasts.
You taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Don't worry. 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play more. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Welcome back to Live at 4. The Macomb High Bombers football team are looking to pick up their first victory of the year as they hosted Tolono Unity this past Friday night. MHS came to the game hungry after dropping their home opener last week to the Canton Little Giants. On Macomb's first drive of the night, Tolino blocked the Bombers' punt, giving the Rockets excellent field position to start the game. And it wouldn't take long for the Rockets to answer. Getting on the board is junior quarterback Steve Miggett would keep it himself on a 24-yard touchdown run. Miggett would show off his inner Cam Newton with that celebration. Finally, Tolono would seal the game when Miggett connected to number 12, Derek Stevens, on the 21-yard touchdown pass. The Rockets started off hot and would never look back after that. Macomb now drops to 0-3 on the year and will host the rival Monmouth Roseville this Friday night at 7 o'clock. Moving to Western Illinois athletics, the WIU women's soccer team played host to the North Dakota Hawks, looking to pick up their first win at home on the season. Western entered the season with a 1-4 record, searching for their first win at home. The Hawks threaten right from the start. Riley Korpsky sends the ball to the back post, but luckily for WIU, no one is there. Once again, sophomore forward gets another chance, but she shoots it wide left. Later, Western would get their first real chance of the game when they crafty passing and put a shot on goal, but wide right. The Hawks look to finally get on the board when Mahler sends the ball in the box, but Maddie Wisely makes a huge save, keeping the game at 0 apiece. Western's best chance came off the foot of freshman Caleb McCormick, who rips the ball, but the goalie Catherine Klein shuts the door. Western would go on to tie this game, resulting in their first tie at home. Western moves to 1-4 on the season. Up next for WIU is a trip to Des Moines to take on the undefeated Drake Bulldogs. Staying with WIU soccer, the men's team hosted the Bowling Green State Falcons this past Saturday for their home opener. The Falcons took the lead first when Peter Pogsley put the ball in goal. Great save by Hansen, but the ball squirts out and he puts it in right there. Western threatened here when Armel Cosao sends a perfect ball on the ground in the box, but the Leathernecks can't get the proper touch on the ball, remaining down by 1. Jamison hits the top crossbar right there. Then Collins would do it himself right here, setting up his own man, waiting for the ball back right here by number 11, Feeds. He feeds it right back to him and puts it right on net, tying the game at 1 apiece. Athletics would get the game-winning goal off the head of Jacob Bevan in the 56th minute of the game, giving Western its first win of the season. Freshman goalkeeper Tim Hansen would finish the day with 6 saves, helping him earn Summit League Defensive Player of the Week. WIU hosts the undefeated Mount Mercy Mustangs later today at 5 o'clock at John McKenzie Alumni Field. Easily the biggest game of the week for Western Athletics was 18th-ranked Leathernecks took on the 17th-ranked Northern Arizona Lumberjacks after coming off a victory over Eastern Illinois last Thursday. After starting the season 1-0, the Leatherneck football team hosted Northern Arizona in their home opener. The Lumberjacks went up early, but not by design, as quarterback Case Cookos pass tripped the fingertips of his tight end Baldwin, leading right in the hands of Eli Marks. He would take it to the house. We go to the third with the game tied at 13, and the man who Charlie Fisher called on last week would answer him once again as Steve McShane breaks out for a 62-yard touchdown run, picking up his 4th touchdown of the season, giving WIU its first lead of the game. After seeing McShane show off his speed, quarterback Sean McGuire thought he would show off his arm as he finds Isaiah Lazure for the touchdown pass. The Leatherneck offense making it look too easy this season so far. McGuire would then connect with Lance DeLorme, putting Western up by 14. The senior wideout already has 246 yards receiving on the season and 1 touchdown with his name. While the Leathernecks have big plays on offense, they also had some special teams on, well, Northern Arizona return man Eli Marks would return the kick, but he would get all of 6'1", 285 Steve McCrado for that big hit. Western would go on a 34-20 victory, picking up their 2nd win of the season and 1st win at home. WIU will take on Northern Illinois Huskies next week. That's sports. Final word is next.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream, that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
I think just working with everybody in the newsroom, everybody has such a great camaraderie. All the opportunities that I've been given here have just been amazing to expand on that resume. I try not to beat myself up on the mistakes I make because there's so many opportunities. Just giving that experience, and this is how I got to do things in the real world, is really what the broadcasting and journalism department has done for me. And you have a really good show and that everybody nailed it. I mean, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Stories, they happen everywhere. At NEWS3, we go the distance and tell them firsthand. Across the region,
the tornado tore through a neighborhood in Washington, Illinois.
Across the state.
You're the state capitol in Springfield for the gubernatorial race.
Across generations.
We have a lot of people that are very dedicated. We're all volunteers.
The stories that inform us, the stories that move us, the stories that matter from a fresh perspective.
Listen to that talent. The Macomb Bombers went marching in at Stacy and Debbie Lanes. The neighborhoods were treated to a marching demonstration after raising more than competing neighborhoods in a fundraising contest.
Watch Good Morning Macomb this Friday to hear the full story. Good Morning Macomb's at 9 a.m. You can find us here on Channel 3 or always on our YouTube page. But before we get any farther, let's talk about this weather, because if we had some great weekend weather, I'm hoping that you can tell me the same for the rest of the week.
Okay, so I have one for you. Here's the corrected graphics. For tonight, we have thunderstorms with a low of 74 and the winds out of the southwest at 10 to 20. For tomorrow, we have more thunderstorms with a high of 73 with southwest winds at another 10 to 20. For your 5-day outlook, as we look to the weekend, we have partly cloudy skies with sunny on Sunday, with highs right in the mid-70s.
Having a little bit of problem with that graphic computer today, aren't we?
It does not like me.
It doesn't. That's okay. We'll get you next time. Thank you so much, JT. That's all for us today.
But we're online all the time.
That's right. You can stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thanks for joining us this evening.
From all of us here at News 3, have a good evening, Macomb.